everyone, it's Dana, the owner and developer of FormCheck Plus. Today I'm going to run you through my powerlifting competition strategy and game plan, everything from nutrition to training splits to just preparing for powerlifting meets while balancing that with getting my master's degree in 3 years of law school, how I did it for 4 years on basically not a lot of sleep, self-coached without a trainer, just my own systems, my own nutrition planning, all of that, from the 4 or 5 weeks of preparation up until the night before, as well as the day of the competition, running you through my day as a law student, how I was able to pencil in training during the day and keep up with everything while still hitting my PRs and doing the best for myself. And the reason why I'm making this video is because FormCheck Plus, while it's an app, it's also a brand, and now it's a movement. And the reason that I say it's a movement is because I was always doubted. I was told I wouldn't lift weights after high school. I was told I couldn't do this or that. And I am taking the knowledge that I have. Certainly I don't know everything, and I'm learning as I go each day, but I'm taking this knowledge that I have from a unique perspective of someone who competed in law school as their own coach, and showing people that you can do it and proving that you can. Regardless of what anybody says about you or how much you've been doubted, you have what it takes. That's the mission behind FormCheck Plus, and that's why it's a movement. And by the end of the video, you'll see that everything that I did for myself, you can now do right from your pocket. You can get a 24/7 game plan right from your pocket just by downloading FormCheck Plus, and at a fraction of the cost of a personal trainer who will cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month or a year to do the same exact thing. It can generate a competition strategy for you right from your pocket, including phases of training, nutrition, stuff for the night before, as well as competition strategy for the day of. So without further ado, let's get into the good stuff, and let me tell you exactly how I did this. So first and foremost, scheduling is very important. Managing your time is absolutely number one. So what I would do is at the end of every week, basically on Fridays, honestly, when classes were done, I would sit down and pencil out my schedule for the week ahead. That's right, instead of going out and drinking and stuff, I was sitting down game planning for the week ahead. So this included just going through, seeing what kind of classes I had, what times they were, trying to figure out what times that I had free so that I could use that for studying also, which was number one, even before training. But number two, to get my training in and make sure I had enough time, because powerlifting, it does take a little bit more time than just generally going to the gym. And that's because there's a lot of rest times that go in between your lifts. So like if you're going for a heavy lift, you don't want to take a 30-second rest. You might take like 2 to 3 minutes. So timing really matters. So I'd make a schedule for that, and because my schedule was so tight and a lot of my classes were at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9:55, and I was 25 minutes away from school, that means that I would have to factor in travel time and all of that stuff. So many times I was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, yes, 3, going to sleep at 12 midnight. So at the very most, for 4 years, getting my master's for 1 year and then law degree for 3, I was running on 3 to 4 hours of sleep. So that means a lot of cups of coffee and a lot of pre-workout. But I did it. So that's what I was doing, and I was getting up to either do a little bit of studying in the morning so that I could take the afternoons or in between my classes to go and get my training in, or just getting up to go to the gym right in the morning to get it out of the way, so to speak, but just also to clear my mind in the morning and set the intention for the day. So what that looked like was waking up and taking a couple minutes to wake up in the morning, getting dressed to go to the gym, eating a meal. So usually I would say probably either protein waffles or, once again, protein oats. That's what I've been eating for like years now. Drinking some water, so like 8 to 10 ounces of water plus 8 ounces of pre-workout water, and then driving to the gym, doing whatever I had to do for the day, coming back to my apartment, eating another breakfast or a second breakfast, usually eggs at this point, with a little bit of fruit and, again, more water. And other times it would be, if it was like the middle of the day or something that I was training, it would be Slam a muscle milk right after my workout, or a protein shake. But a lot of times muscle milks, because I didn't have protein powder with me. So I would do that, and then I would also pack my meals for the day. So if I only had like one class or something, I would pack a lunch. So every time that I went to school, I would always bring food with me. I'm not eating cafeteria food, not eating fast food. I'm sticking to a diet. So what that looked like was, like, most of the time beef and rice with lettuce, salsa, avocado, sometimes chicken if I had that, with rice and vegetables. I'm the pretty basic type person. I don't go crazy. I could eat that stuff all day. A lot of times too, it would be like beef and sweet potato with mustard and some I would say like pink Himalayan sea salt or just regular sea salt. So all those meals would be packed up, and I would also have extra food prepared for the night, so I wouldn't weigh that out yet. I would just weigh the stuff out that I was taking to classes. So I would grab all my stuff, go to class, and then eat my lunch like in between my classes in my car usually, because that's where my meals were. Just keep them kind of cool because there's no refrigerator there. And if it was a different day, so like let's say I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, right, and I didn't go to do a workout right away, it was in the middle of the days, I would get up at 3 or so, have a cup of coffee, black coffee, some water, because coffee dehydrates you, so it's good to have water with your coffee like you would if you were gonna drink alcohol. You gotta have a water for every coffee that you have, so you don't dehydrate yourself, because if you dehydrate yourself, your muscles can't work as well. So that's what that would look like. Wouldn't really eat right away. And then usually before class, I would have eggs and fruit once again, or maybe a protein waffle or some oats again. It varied every day, but those were basically like my typical, I would say, like lunches, or sorry, excuse me, not lunches, geez, I need more caffeine. Those would be my typical breakfast items, always fruit. So my idea was every morning when you wake up, you need a piece of fruit. That's my rule that I keep for myself. For lunch, my rule is you can have more fruit, but you absolutely have to have a vegetable, and then same with dinner. You can have protein first, and then you need a vegetable with that. So I was eating like basically 2 servings of vegetables a day, 1 serving of fruit. My favorite fruit is pineapple, so sometimes in the morning it'd be like pineapple, or it'd be like strawberries or blueberries, basically berries, but sometimes also bananas, just depending. But that's basically what I used for that. So that's what I would do. And then if I had classes at like 8 or something, I would make sure that I gave myself enough time to eat before I went to class, and then packed up all my meals once again. So if I trained in the middle of the day, I would go to the law school's gym. When I was first starting out in my master's, I was driving back to the gym that I was using that was closer to where my apartment was, and then driving back to the school. But I realized that I was wasting gas in doing that when the law school gym itself had all the necessary tools that I needed, so the squat rack and stuff like that. The other gym had a lot more machines, but for the purposes of just squat, bench, dead, and some accessory stuff with dumbbells, that was good enough. So I would get right out of there. I would always have my gym bag in my car, drive around to the gym, change really quickly, drink my pre-workout usually during class. So like the last couple minutes of class, I would chug it down. So bring it to class. Do my workout. If I had to go back to class, I would slam a muscle milk, but if it wasn't for a little bit that I had to go to class, I would have a meal. So always protein shakes, also protein bars too. I forgot to add that in there in between classes. So always prioritizing protein, but just know that protein bar is not a meal supplement, and I wouldn't consider it as such. And same thing with a protein shake. Not meal supplements, just kind of snacks, but healthier ones that ensure you're getting your protein intake in. And then it got really hard schedule-wise towards the last year of law school, I would say, for me, because I had to travel an hour away each way, so that's 2 hours of travel time, from about, I would say it was like 9 to 3 or 9 to 4 in the afternoon for an internship that I did with the business law clinic. So on top of doing that, I had to figure out times to train. So towards the end was really when I guess I was the most stressed with all of this stuff. Not really stressed as in like, oh, powerlifting is stressful, but just mentally exhausted, I would say, and also sort of physically, but not to the point where like you feel injured or anything, just physically exhausted as in like you're not sleeping that much. So that's when it really counted most, because that's when you really have to push yourself hard and know that what you're doing is worth it, and knowing that this is like what you signed up for, and if you want it bad enough, you will make it happen. So that was very crazy. A lot of very early mornings. Once again, at that point, I was switching in my last 2 years, I would say, or year and a half of law school, to the Dartmouth gym, and they have a really nice gym and facility, and it's got a top and a bottom to it. So the bottom has like machines, the bathroom is down there. They've also got some like cardio equipment, and then you go upstairs, and upstairs is literally all squat racks. So for me, that was really cool to go to that, because in college I wanted to play D1 softball, But obviously, like I said in the previous video, I didn't think I could balance that with my curriculum. So seeing as Dartmouth allowed the community to join their gym, I was like, well, it's D1, it's Ivy League, might as well go for it and try it out. So I did. Their hours were like 5 in the morning or something. I think it was the earliest on the weekday, and then 8 on the weekends. So sometimes I would even drive on the weekend at like 4 o'clock in the morning to the law school gym, because the law school gym opened at like 4:20 in the morning is when their door unlocked. So if I was up early on a weekend, which a lot of times I would do that. Otherwise, I would just wake up early, do some work, wait until the Dartmouth gym opened, and then go there. But that was a lot of fun, and I have like an entire video on this whole routine, and what I'm saying right now kind of makes it seem like, oh, it's so easy. But if you factor in like driving back and forth 25 minutes just to get to classes, prepping meals when I get back home and stuff on the days that I don't have food made, and going to the grocery store, then studying all night long and driving to internships on top of it, while also trying to get enough sleep, studying for finals, writing papers, and preparing for oral arguments and stuff like that. There was a lot that went into this. Like, it wasn't just, oh, you wake up and you get the stuff done. Like, there's a lot of stuff in law school that you have to do on top of this. You've got group projects sometimes. You have to meet up with people for certain things. So your schedule is all over the place, and everyone else's is too, because in law school, everybody's busy. You're not the only one. So doing this on top of that, I think really gave me, I would say, like, made me a better person in a way, because I was able to get through it, number one, but I had to create myself and build myself along the way. Like, I was creating myself and building the person that I am today, and creating character in doing this, because I had to have the confidence, the drive to get through all this. And honestly, I swear that law school helped me in the law department, because if you can stand up in front of a crowd of people that you do not know in a singlet and lift weights, then there's no reason you can't get up and speak to a crowd of people. So like, talking to a phone, posting this stuff online, doesn't matter to me, because I'm just so used to being out in the open in public anyway. But yeah, I can make like a whole separate video, and I have, on just like my routines and stuff for law school. But that's kind of how I did that, how I structured my day and set my day up. Excuse me, I have like a dry throat for some reason. Then as far as like the competitions go, so my strategy with weightlifting in general has always been to focus on the big 3, so squat, bench, dead, and then center everything else around it. So if I'm doing bench press one day, then I'm also going to do some shoulder and tricep work. However, I won't push the shoulders too much, normally like a simple front raise and then an overhead press, because with benching, obviously you get the front delt anyway. And too much shoulder work when you're a power lifter is not good, because you don't want to wear your shoulders down. It's just too much wear and tear to bench and then also do your like shoulder presses on top of it. So I try to stick to like one move per each 3 sides of the head of the shoulder, so the front, the side, and the rear delt. So I'll do all those when I bench press. So I guess like the best way to put it is that I don't know if it's power bodybuilding is or power building, I guess, is the term that everybody uses. So I focus and center my workouts around the big 3, but then I train like a bodybuilder after that. And that's always something I got criticized on from people at the first gym that I was going to, where the competitions all started, because they asked me why I train like a bodybuilder. But the thing is, I train like that because I don't want to be strong in just the bench press or just the deadlift. Like, I want to be strong in all 3. That's the entire goal. I'm a full power lifter, so why would I just train one part of my body and let something else be weak? I see that a lot of times too, where everybody obviously is stronger in one. So like for me, my deadlift is my best lift, hands down. And then probably my squat, and my least strong lift is the bench. So everyone's usually good at one of those 3 things. But the point that I'm making is, I don't want one of my body parts to lag behind the other. So I train everything and I do everything. I do cardio. Power lifters generally have a stocky build, right? They're a little bit heavier, but not me, I would say. Like, I have a square build. I'm not built like a bodybuilder. I'm not built like a model, anything like that. But I would say that for a power lifter, I'm not as, I guess, chunky or like blocky built as they are, or bulky. And that's because I take my cardio seriously and my diet seriously. So training wise, what I would do is, as I said, all of that stuff. And then on my deadlift days, I would do back work after that. So the lat pull downs, obviously those are good for engaging your lats in the bench press. Some single arm work, just because I don't want one side to be stronger than the other. Same with the shoulders. That's why you got to do both, because you don't want the uneven lockout when you have your dominant arm taking over the other one. So, sorry. So I center my training around like that. So if I'm in season and I'm prepping for a powerlifting competition, I'm not going to be doing as much volume. I'll do less volume, so my rep ranges will be lower. Typically between like 1 to maybe 5 reps, 8 at the very most. During the off season, when I don't have a competition going, I will bump all of that up. So I'll be doing a lot of triples. I'll be doing sets of like 5 to 8 or so, and even like 8 to 12. So it really depends on the workout. So if we're talking tricep push downs, yes, I'm going to push that to 12 to 15 reps usually on my off season. In season, it's going to look like 5 to 8 pretty much. So for accessory moves, that is. So like your overhead tricep extensions, single arm work, anything like that. That's how I've structured my training always, pretty much. But back in the day, before I started the powerlifting competitions, how I would structure my training is the typical, I guess, gym bro split. So I would do a back day one day, I would do a shoulder day the next, an arm day with back and biceps next, and then just a leg day. Except for I only had one leg day and did everything. Now I have 2 leg days, so I have an accessory leg day and then my squat day. So my squat day is pretty quad focused, whereas the accessory leg day is pretty glute focused, and then just doing things like corrective exercises that will help my squat. So that's how I center my training now. But when I started powerlifting, it was a deadlift day with back work, stuff like that. Then as far as like preparing for the actual competition, it's usually 4 to 5 weeks for me. So 4 to 5 week blocks. So first I start off around 10% of my max for the squat, bench, dead. Again, doing the accessory work, but bumping it down to those lower rep ranges because I don't want to tax myself out too much. The second week is about 25% of my max. So I base it off the max that I'm going for that specific meet. So I have my 3 PR numbers in mind, and I'll take 10 and then 25% of that. The third week I do 50%. Excuse me. The fourth week is 75%. The fifth week, so I guess, yeah, it's about 5 to 6 weeks. The fifth week is either what I want my PR to be or like 5 pounds off of that. So either like 90% of my max or very, very close to my PR. The 6th week is no-go. You're absolutely done after that. So you do openers. You could do openers or whatever, but that's about it. You cannot do anything else. So I guess maybe, yeah, like 6 to 7 weeks. So to reiterate, 10% the first week, 25, 50, 75, 90%, or hit your max. Some people like to hit their max. I like to do about 90%, so like very close to it, maybe 5, 10 pounds off. Or even 15 pounds off, really depends. And then openers, and then you shut it down. So the week of, you're not going to do anything. That Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I will do something, and that's it. But it's very, very minimal stuff. So the Sunday of, I'm going to be doing a lower body circuit. So it's going to look like leg extensions, a leg press maybe, with very, very minimal weight. Like I'm talking 60 pounds or something on a leg extension or less for like 8 reps. And then a top set of maybe like 90 for 5. And I will do like 3 sets. So it's like a leg press, a leg extension, hamstring curl, and that might even be it. And then like maybe, definitely cardio with a sweatshirt on. So I can make weight and stuff. The next day is going to be an upper body day, so I'm going to do a mix of stuff. It's going to be like lat pull downs, things like that, a lot of banded work too. And then the third day is pretty much just cardio and banded stretches. So I guess I wouldn't really count the third day, but you're still doing like banded work. So it's still something, but Sunday and Monday of the week of the competition are the last 2 workout days, and they're very minimal stuff. So I'll do, some banded stuff, some cardio, and then usually the weigh-ins are on Friday. The competition is on Saturday. So on Fridays, the rest of the week, so Wednesday and Thursday, I will do cardio. But normally I would shut it down Thursday, like morning after my cardio is done, because Friday I don't want to do anything at all. It's the day before the competition. And also it really depends too, because sometimes I might even stop my cardio on Wednesdays just to give myself Thursday and Friday to do absolutely nothing. So it really depends, it varies, but that's how I would set that up. So Friday, the weigh-ins are usually in the morning. So I cut my food off and my water at around like 6 o'clock or so on Thursday night. And I do not eat anything. I don't drink anything until after my weigh-ins, because you want to make sure you make weight. So don't eat anything, which is tough because there's no water. But then I go and do my weigh-ins, and then once my weigh-ins are done, I immediately fuel up. So I'll eat like whatever the frick I want at that point. So again, leading up to this point, like my main sources of protein are usually chicken and beef is my go-to. My carb sources are going to be like sweet potatoes, oats, and rice. My vegetables, it's literally whatever I want, because I say there's like free calories. I still track them, but that's mostly like broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, green beans, salad, sometimes coleslaw, just plain, or like a very low cal dressing. What else am I missing? Avocados. I already mentioned all the fruits. So basically what everybody typically eats on a diet is what I eat, but throw the muscle milk in there, some protein waffles, some protein bars now and then, and muscle milks, if I didn't already say that, and protein shakes. And I mix my protein shakes with water because it's less calories. Same with my oats. So what my food looks like is, I don't know, usually after that, it's whatever I feel like eating. So I might have like a donut or something, definitely a protein shake to get my protein in, and really just whatever I feel like eating, essentially. So I can carb up for the meet the next day. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I have specific go-to foods that I eat the night before. So a pasta is number 1. And I'm not talking any pasta. It's got to be mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, chicken wings, and steak is what I eat. And yes, if I'm getting sides, we're definitely getting some kind of garlic mashed potatoes and some vegetables. So I'll eat all my chicken wings. I'll eat as much of the mac and cheese as I can. I'll get a Coke with that, so a little bit of sugar. And then I'll only eat half the steak and save the other half for the morning, because I like to have steak the morning of my competition. And if there's mac and cheese left or potatoes, same thing, I'll save it for the morning. So I'll do all of that and then just kind of like try to relax, watch something on TV, whatever. If I'm traveling for a meet, like if it wasn't at the actual place, then obviously book a hotel and then go to a restaurant or something and then come back. Well, we'll just say for the sake of this video that it is at the, like my home gym. So then I'll wake up the next morning, usually about 5 o'clock in the morning, because typically the rules are at 7 and the lifting starts at 8. So I like to get there at 6:30, but when I get up in the morning, I like to have time to wake up. I like time to eat a meal before I go there, do my hair because I have a specific hairstyle that I do for every single meet, and then just get my stuff on, make sure I have everything packed and ready to go. So usually my mom, she comes to my meets and she will do my hair. So what I do for a hairstyle is I take my hair like this and then I just have like one braid in the back. So she'll do that for me, and then I will get my singlet on first, then she does that. And then after that, I'm eating my steak, my potatoes, and maybe some fruit too. And then once I get to the competition, so like I get all my stuff together, so I'll take my food with me, my Beat headphones, because they're really good at the competitions when the noise is really loud, over AirPods. My water with some electrolytes, obviously my pre-workout, throw all that stuff in a bag. Usually I have that in a bag the night before though, just so I don't forget, and then double check the morning of. So I'll drive to the gym, or if we're like away, then my mom will take me, and then she'll go back to the hotel and then come back. So once I get there, I'm like game face on, whatever, and kind of just listen to music and stuff. And then once the rules start, I just try to even more so like drown things out. Now, as far as the food goes, the day of, everybody does something a little differently. Some people like to have like actual food. I just like to have snacks. So the snacks I bring are trail mix, bananas, beef jerky, muscle milks, and Rice Krispie treats. So typically before like your deadlift, excuse me, and your bench, you'll want something a little bit heavier to eat, but before your squat, you'll want something lighter. So you could do like rice cakes or something before a squat, but I just do honestly a Rice Krispie treat. So I'll have one of those, like one of the small ones, not the bigger ones, right before I lift. And then maybe like a half a banana or something, obviously pre-workout, but since I'm only doing one scoop, I do about a half a scoop at a time. So right before I start, I'll have half, and then what is next? I guess, yeah, I probably kind of overdo it on the pre-workout the day of, so I'll have like a half a scoop then, and half a scoop for the next one, and then a half a scoop for the deadlift last. So it's really like 1.5 scoops, but it's a competition, and you really want to like put everything you've got into it and leave nothing on the platform. So in other words, like you want to make sure when you get off that platform you had nothing else left that you could have possibly given. So I do overdo it a little bit on caffeine the day of, but obviously for good reason, because you want to get really amped up. So and that's what I'll do. And then after my lift, like after the 3 attempts for like the squats first. So after the 3 attempts, I'll have a protein shake. So basically a muscle milk. And then maybe that's pretty much it, honestly. Or like the half of the banana. Then again, before the other lift, another Rice Krispie treat. And then once the, what's next? The bench is over, then I'll have like some trail mix or whatever's left in my bag, beef jerky, maybe another protein shake if I feel like it, but not always. And then before the other lift, another Rice Krispie treat. So I just like to keep the carbs going, because if you don't have carbs, you're not going to have enough energy to push as hard as you want. Like you could eat fruit and stuff, like actual regular fruit, like an apple or something, that even that has carbs in it, but I'm saying like you want a little bit more, something with a little bit more substance the day of before your lift, just for the extra energy boost. So typically that's how I'll fuel during that. And then after, usually go out to eat somewhere. So afterwards, typically ritual style stuff for me is like pizza or anything else that I feel like eating, but usually pizza. And then as far as like my lifts go, I kind of go by feel, but obviously with the target numbers in mind. So we'll start out, it's basically the same for like all 3 lifts, but I'll start out with something that I can rep even on a crap day for at least 3 reps. The second attempt should essentially be whatever PR you're going for, so that in the event that you do fail it, the third one, you can try to get it again. But sometimes, like I said, depending on how I feel, I might go like 5 or 10 pounds below what my PR is, and then PR the third attempt. So really just, it depends on the day, how I feel, whatever, what I think I can get and what I don't think I can get. But that's how I would attack that. So that's kind of how I attacked my powerlifting competitions. I know it wasn't super in-depth, but that's like a broad overview of everything. And again, if you'd like to see it, I'll drop like the 5-minute clip or whatever it is that I have of what a typical day looked like for me when I was prepping for these things. So like walking to the gym in the morning, I actually documented like a whole entire thing to show how I did that and like sort of what it looked like. So I can do that, but basically that is what it looked like, kind of how I structured everything. So again, with the food and the stuff, mostly a lot of chicken and beef were my go-tos. Rice, oatmeal, all the basic like diet stuff that everybody would eat. But like I said, throw your protein waffles in there, your muscle milks, protein shakes, protein bars. And then also sometimes too, I would have like Cool Whip and I would mix it with an orange seltzer and make like a creamsicle drink with a little bit less sugar, because obviously a regular seltzer doesn't have any sugar in it. So I'm doing little tricks like that, or get like a little cup of Chobani yogurt. The ones that are like that big, they're like 80 calories a piece, and put chocolate protein powder in it, and then I would call it like protein pudding. So just like little things like that along the way. I even did this once. I took one of the Ghost energy drinks, got the popsicle stick holder things, and dumped it in and had like energy drink popsicles, because it was like something flavorful, but again, no sugar, because they don't have sugar in them. So little diet tips and tricks like that. But essentially, that is how I did it. And all of my food, yes, I would weigh it out. I had about like 3 to 4.5 ounces of beef or chicken, and then it was around like 130 to 140 grams of rice. And then again, the vegetables, they would be weighed out too, but it kind of just free calories is what I like to call them. Not really, but you get the point. Like, you can eat as many of those as you want, essentially. So that's what I would do. Sweet potato, beef, same thing. A lot of times too, I would make like peppers. So I made my own stuffed peppers. I would take a green bell pepper, throw it in the air fryer, roast it, cook up like those little cherry tomatoes with beef and a little bit of a green pepper in there, and then rice. Mix that all together, weigh everything out first, dump it in the pepper, and then put sriracha over it. And I had like a stuffed pepper with like spicy sauce as opposed to like the traditional marinara. So little things like that. I could honestly make a whole separate video on my food, and I just might. But that's like a rundown of everything that I did. A very quick rundown. It's obviously way more work than that, because if you think about it, like getting up at 3 in the morning, going to classes all day, coming back, let's say I had to go to the grocery store. So I would go immediately to the grocery store, grab all my stuff, come back, unpack it, make food, put it in prep containers for the next day, eat, clean up, do dishes, then sit down and do my work, put all my clothes out for tomorrow, including gym clothes, pack my gym bag, get up and do it all over again. So it's a lot. It was taxing, but for me, it's what I wanted to do. So yes, like there was times when I was tired, but it really didn't faze me. Like, I was like, this is just part of the process, you know, like I want to do this and this is what I was meant to do. So I'm just going to find a way to get it done, because that's what I do. I don't make an excuse to say, oh, I'm tired, so I'm not going to go. Certainly there's days where you probably shouldn't go. But for the most part, I just kept grinding, because this was my life at this time. And I was like, I don't have anything to lose. Like, the more work that I put in, the luckier I will literally get, because it's impossible to fail when I'm working that hard. So again, like, as long as I got 5-pound PRs on all of my 3 lifts in my competition, that was a win for me. Didn't do this to win at all. I did it because I love this sport, and I fell in love with competing, because it gave me a benchmark to reach by that date that I had to get that weight, and I held myself to it and made myself accountable to get that weight that I set out for myself to get. All the medals, all the freaking, first place wins that I got out of 5 of the 6 competitions, it's literally icing on the cake for me and a complete afterthought. Never went in to compete with anybody else except for my own numbers and myself. So there's an overview of how I got ready for my powerlifting competitions, how I balanced it in law school. And at the end of this video, I'm going to put a little picture from the FormCheck Plus app of what it looks like when you generate your own competition plan. So you'll see like a phase-by-phase program catered to your needs, and it will look different for everybody, because you can set on the settings page within the FormCheck Plus app your specific goal. So for me, is powerlifting, and it will know based off that like what you're doing, but you can also put your competition name and sport in there, so it will know as well. So you get phase-by-phase protocol. You'll get like a nutrition plan. What else? Like a game night before, or like a night before a competition or event plan, and then a competition day strategy as well. And also recovery and sleep tips in there to keep you fresh and focused, as well as I think there's like a little bit of mindset stuff in there too. So I will post a picture of that at the end of this video. And again, the mission behind FormCheck Plus. Yes, it is an app. Yes, it is a brand, but it's also a movement, because I want to see people succeed at the end of the day. And this, for fitness, for your health, for longevity, to get better in sports, in health, in fitness, whatever your goal is, this is for everybody. The app is 13 plus, but this is for everybody. The intermediate, the advanced, the beginner, and everybody in between. I want to see you succeed, and I want to see you get better, and you shouldn't have to pay through the nose hundreds or thousands of dollars to pay someone to do the same thing that this app can do with greater accessibility 24/7 right from your pocket. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to encourage you, and so is FormCheck Plus. We're not going anywhere. We are here to stay. This app, this mission, this brand was built on helping people, supporting them, and encouraging them to be better than yesterday, to keep breaking barriers and thinking long term about your goals, not only in sports and in fitness, but in life as well. It's a culmination of bringing the mind and the body together, because when those two are both on the same level, playing at the same level, you're unstoppable, you are unbreakable. You, for the most part, and at the end of the day, are capable of what you set out for yourself to do. No matter what anybody else says, keep showing up for yourself every day, because the haters and the people that doubt you will literally hate to see that you're not stopping and you're not quitting to reach your goals. And I promise you that, because I'm a living proof and a living testament to that. And I think you've all seen that from prior videos that I posted with my squat at my powerlifting competition, and also my last squat PR at my home gym. So at the end of the day, this is about your journey and your goals, and you should do it for yourself and not anyone else, because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. So just keep your head down, keep grinding, stay focused, drown out the noise, keep being great, keep pushing towards your goals. FormCheck Plus is here for you wherever you are, anytime you need it, okay? So I just want you to know that. Also, if you haven't already, join the Discord with the link in the bio. I've got more content coming on there. It's a discussion for everybody in the community to get together to talk about these things, but just keep it PG. No harassment, no bullying, none of that, no vulgar language. This is a community to support other people, not bring them down. FormCheck Plus does not condone bringing people down. We want to lift people up and elevate them, because we want to see people succeed and we want to help them get there. So join the Discord. You will get exclusive content there that I'm not going to be posting anywhere else. You can join and connect with other people that have the app, as well as people that don't, because it's not just for people who have the app. If you don't have the app, you can still join this Discord. And at the end of the day, it deserves its own page for these types of discussions, so that people don't feel alone when they're on their fitness journey, whether it's weight loss, sports, you name it, lifting. Maybe you're into yoga or body weight moves, whatever it is, whether you're a mom, dad, a kid in high school that's 16 and just getting into the gym. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody and everyone is welcome here. And that's the mission, and that's the goal. It's to uplift people. So I'm going to wrap it up here, because I've been talking too much, but I hope you found value in that, and I hope to see you in the Discord. And if you hate this app, let me know. If you like it, also let me know. I'm working every day to make this app better for you, to serve you in the best, most meaningful way possible. So thanks a lot, guys. And if you made it this far, special thank you. See ya.